Hello, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good day, good evening to all watching us from home, wherever you may be in the world. My name is Corina Feuerstein, and I work on our Microsoft 365 Defender and broader threat protection products. We're here to talk about Microsoft Defender, our extended detection and response solution, our XDR, as we fondly call it. We have some exciting updates to share with you today about this journey that we're on, some announcements and new features to show you. I have a few slides to walk through with you, and then we'll go and play with the portal and see how this stuff works in action. First, why are we here? Well, it's been a challenging 12 months for a lot of reasons. We're all remote, we're working from home. Our kids are using the same network to play Xbox on that we're using to access sensitive corporate resources, and that's a huge headache for our security teams. We're accessing every network from any device, from anywhere. While we've been struggling to make work from home a reality, unfortunately, there are adversaries out there who are trying to take advantage of that situation, and the number of threats and breaches has increased. So SOC efficiency is more important now than it's ever been. Just look at some of these statistics. An increase of 67% in the number of attacks in the last 5 years. And those attacks are getting more expensive. Think about the cost of losing data or having to remediate a breach. Think of the reputational risk and loss of brand value. And it's incredible that 68% of breaches take months to discover. We all know that means the attacker has got what they wanted and got out. At the same time, resources are a challenge, both in terms of time, dollars, and in smart humans to keep our organizations secure. Not only that, there are so many tools out there to get the job done that not only do we have signal and alert fatigue, we have portal, dashboard, and vendor fatigue to deal with that as well. And all of this has been exacerbated in the past year by the global pandemic. So what is our vision? Let's take a step back and look at it from the top. If you attended the keynote, you will have seen Eric Dorr and Rob Lefferts present this slide showing how we offer the most holistic platform available. Our integrated SIEM and XDR tools deliver true end-to-end threat visibility, powered by the same security experts and AI that secure Microsoft. Let's check out these tools. Azure Sentinel is our industry-leading cloud-native SIEM. It collects data from any source and delivers intelligent security analytics across the enterprise, providing a single solution for detection and visibility. And then we can dive deep and explore the depth of signal intelligence in our XDR solution. First, Microsoft 365 Defender. The most comprehensive integrated solution on the market provides extended detection and response tools across your identities, endpoints, applications, email, and collaboration tools. Meanwhile, Azure Defender provides multi-cloud protection for IoT, infrastructure, and cloud resources and workloads. Together, our XDR protection extends from our own products and services to everything else in your environment, including workloads on AWS, GCP, Linux, Apple, and Android devices. We really mean everything. With the combination of SIEM and XDR, defenders are now armed with more context and automation than ever before, and they can leverage the time saved through automation and efficiency to get proactive, apply their unique experience across their organization, and proactively hunt across all of their data. Okay, let's check out Azure Defender first. It's a separate portal because we recognize the best place to protect Azure is in Azure. But it's also multi-cloud, protecting what you do in AWS, Google Cloud, and of course, Azure. It covers Windows and Linux servers, SQL, storage, containers, serverless workloads that have been widely adopted by hybrid customers, and more. You can also leverage Azure Arc integration to protect servers or SQL servers in other clouds too. Azure Defender benefits from the Microsoft Security Graph, which uses trillions of signals from Microsoft services and systems around the globe to identify new and evolving threats. Now, let's check out Microsoft 365 Defender, where we talk about the end-user environment. Here, we leverage best-in-class individual point solution products to protect your entire Microsoft 365 environment. You'll recognize some of these products, such as Defender for Endpoint, Defender for Office 365, Defender for Identity, and Azure AD Identity Protection, and Microsoft Cloud App Security is in there too, bringing its CASB capabilities. All of these are great products in their own right, but modern threats don't focus on a single area of the organization anymore. And for that reason, we bring together these products and alerts from the underlying threat silos and combine them into correlated incidents. Now you can view the threat in its entirety, seeing the whole kill chain from entry point to extraction, or ideally where it has been blocked across your users, devices, assets, and documents. Not only can you see that and visualize all in one place, you can also remediate any affected assets from the same console, making the time to discovery and time to response that much more effective. And if that wasn't cool enough already, check it out. We recognize that having multiple portals for multiple silos of threat protection is tricky, and so today we are announcing the next step in our journey of integrated and comprehensive XDR. The experiences and operations for Microsoft Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Office 365 are migrating into the Microsoft 365 Defender combined portal. You will no longer need to operate multiple dashboards or jump from one to the other for investigation, remediation, and configuration activities. We're now in public preview of the converged experience, and you can go and explore these new efficiencies right now with full feature parity today. In the near future, we will also be pulling in identity data as well as this journey continues. This combined unified experience provides coordinated prevention and detection across all of the major security areas, as well as automatic remediation and self-healing, leveraging AI to return any affected assets to a safe state, and the ability to hunt across all of your data from a single console in a single language across a single data schema. But wait, there's more. Along with being able to conduct your day-to-day operations from a single efficient portal, we're also adding more features and capabilities. First up, we have Microsoft Threat Analytics. Here we leverage our large team of threat intelligence professionals who analyze the trillions of signals we receive. They actively track and interpret the real-world threats that are going on around us and apply them to your own environment. You can peruse these detailed reports and find out what threats are active and how they apply to your world. Not only that, you can see if you're currently impacted and follow mitigation and remediation steps to keep your environment safe. Microsoft Threat Experts is a new tool where you can ask for help. If you see something that needs some explanation, or you want to create a ticket and ask one of our experts to help you tackle a problem, they are here for you in public preview as well. We're also launching an in-portal learning hub. Here you'll find videos, documentation, and instructions on how to best protect your environment and leverage our solutions. This area is full of best practices and how-tos. To better understand how these and many more new capabilities we've introduced this year work towards improving the efficiency of your SOC, let's look at a case study of the SOC leveraging Microsoft 365 Defender to investigate and respond to a typical attack. Okay, let's take a look at a real-world scenario. Human-operated ransomware is a really big deal, and you don't have to look too far in the news to see the damage that it can have and the disruption and cost it can cause for a business and its customers. Here's an example of a modern human-operated ransomware campaign. spanning across initial access, infection, persistence, and lateral movement. The final goal is reaching critical assets, be they on-prem or in the cloud. This type of attack that transcends traditional boundaries is why SOCs have ended up with so many different security tools, and exactly why we are looking to streamline them into comprehensive integrated solutions. It's obvious when attacks span across domains, Defender tools should too. The unified Microsoft 365 Defender portal now brings together not only common cross-domain functionality, but also all capabilities from the existing Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Office 365 portals, enabling SOC analysts to already work out of this unified portal without the need to ever go back to the individual portals for these workloads. Opening the Microsoft 365 Defender Unified Portal in the morning, our SOC analyst lands on a new and improved dashboard. The dashboard presents a unified state of security, including top active threat trends in the organization, security blogs and news, new emerging threat reports and their reflection to the organization, and more. In addition, the dashboard directs the SOC analyst to the next most important work items to focus on: high severity active incidents, remediation actions pending approval, etc. Note that you are eligible to use Microsoft 365 Defender not only with an M365 E5 license, but actually even if you only have an individual product Microsoft E5 license. You can turn it on and start your efficiency savings right away, even if you only have Defender for Endpoint or Defender for Office or any other individual E5 product deployed. Over time, as you deploy more of our E5 products, the functionality in Microsoft 365 Defender will seamlessly expand to leverage the additional workloads. We typically see at least 5 such high-impact emerging threats in the landscape every month. When these emerge, the SOC can do away with the running around under pressure trying to find answers to these questions. The threat analytics reports brings everything together and provides a CISO-ready view with all the relevant information collected and summarized for them. And now from here, you can drill into any active incidents related to the threat to investigate and respond. Microsoft 365 Defender is first and foremost a full security stack, including prevention and protection across the different workloads. This means that as much as 70% of daily potential malicious encounters are prevented right off the bat. For the remaining activity that is detected, alerts are raised to the SOC. Microsoft 365 Defender correlates alerts related to the same attack across all Microsoft 365 workloads, endpoint, identity, email, and cloud, together into end-to-end attacks, and creates work items we call incidents, presented in an incident queue. Now, instead of a lot of individual alerts, the SOC has a few incidents to work on and an average reduction of about 80%. New for the incident queue are comprehensive titles representing the incident's content, expanding to see the alerts in them, and a new incident API for third-party tool integration. As you can see, many of the incidents in the queue here were already remediated automatically. Our automated self-healing triggers on new incidents, automatically investigates all assets and evidence involved across devices, user identities, mailboxes, and so on, and coordinates automatic remediation with the goal of addressing about 75% of the incidents in the queue. So with this amazing 24/7 virtual analyst constantly at work, our SOC analyst desk is cleared and they can focus only on the most important few incidents to handle in depth. The incident provides an all-up summary of the attack, including the attack sprawl, how far it has progressed, mapped to the MITRE ATT&CK framework, the scope and impacted entities across devices, users, mailboxes, and others, and the main chain of events as represented by the top alerts observed in relation to this incident. The current remediation state, what parts of the incident have already been auto-healed and what parts still require attention, and all evidence, hashes, IPs, etc., collected in relation to this incident. If you're part of a SOC team, you know that Excel spreadsheet or shared notebook you use to collect all your notes and data points during an attack investigation? Well, no need for that anymore. The incident collects all that data for you, making for a much faster and more efficient investigation. To continue the investigation of this incident, let's drill into the alerts collected here. This view shows us the list of all alerts the system correlated into the incident as they were deemed related to this attack. Alerts are brought into the incident from all workloads, and the incident connects the dots between them into one end-to-end story. We can see the endpoint detections of a suspect LNK file and some PowerShell activity, a suspicious URL click reported from the email side, and credential theft activity detected on the identity side, all as part of the same flow of events. In fact, some alerts are generated by Microsoft 365 Defender itself because of the cross-domain signal correlations. New in this view is the grouping of similar alerts within the incident for better readability. Let's drill into one of the endpoint PowerShell alerts for further investigation. To investigate the alert, we land on the Unified Alert Investigation page. Whether investigating an endpoint alert or an email alert, the experience is the same and tailored to typical SOC investigation workflows, presenting all important details, activities, and related alerts in the execution sequence in one comprehensive view. The affected device and user account are highlighted at top to allow for quick assessment of risk based on organizational parameters. In our case, we can see the suspect PowerShell activity stemming from a WMI remote execution, indicating likely lateral movement of the attacker to this box. If you feel you've exhausted your expertise and need to phone a friend, our Microsoft threat experts are a click away to support your SOC with expert advice and threat intelligence. Fill out your question and email address, and our experts will get back to you with answers and advice. If we need more details about the affected device, one click brings us to the Microsoft 365 Defender Unified Device page. The device page brings together data about the device from all workloads into one view. For example, directory data from Defender for Identity, logged on users combined from Defender for Endpoint and Identity, and device timeline from Endpoint. No need to go look in several different portals for pieces of the picture anymore. The SOC analyst can also take quick manual actions from right here. For example, if we know that this device is indeed compromised, we can isolate it from the network with a click until its investigation and remediation is completed. To track this and other actions taken in Microsoft 365 Defender, we can use the Unified Action Center. This is where all actions taken across the different workloads are logged. New to the Action Center is the logging of both automatic actions taken by the system as well as manual actions taken by SOC analysts. From here, we can view action history as well as approve pending actions individually or in bulk for efficiency when dealing with similar artifacts. We can see here that the system already took quite a few actions to remediate the affected assets in our attack. Now we can also move to investigate a user account, one of the users that was compromised in this attack. The user page in Microsoft 365 Defender is now also unified across the workloads and brings together data about the user from the different sources, including, for example, the user's activity timeline from the point of view of Defender for Endpoint and Defender for Identity combined. And if we really want to go hunt for more around this attack, there's a Go Hunt button here now, as in many other spots in the portal, that takes us to advanced hunting in the context of what we're already investigating. Go Hunt pre-populates advanced hunting with the initial query right off the bat, relevant to the investigation context you're coming from. For example, in our case, the relevant query for more details about the selected user's activity is popped in, so you don't have to know how to write it or spend the time to type. As a reminder, advanced hunting enables free hunting over the raw data from all Microsoft 365 workloads. Lots of new data points were added recently and continue to be added, including application and identity data and email post-delivery data. A side pane allows us to easily inspect rows in the result set and take further action from right here. Again, no unnecessary clicks. Everything's at your fingertips to save work and time. And some cool new functions were added to include profile information in queries. For example, I can now filter a file search for only those files with very low prevalence and those that are unsigned. Other new features include creating cross-domain custom detections. Documentation for all tables and fields is now available right here in the portal, and a new advanced hunting API enables integration of Microsoft 365 Defender hunting with other third-party tools. Great efficiency gains here too, being able to get in one query what you have to do in several steps across different tools before. Note that you would normally have to jump out into a scene to do this kind of action, but here we can do it right from the same console because we can hunt across all of our data in the same dashboard. Now, we know that this attack entered our enterprise environment through an exposed legacy workflow over in Azure. There was an RDP port that had been left open because the business process relied on it, despite it being unsafe and contrary to corporate policy. The best place to protect Azure and your multi-cloud workloads is, of course, in Azure. So here we are in the Azure Defender portal. This is often a different role within an organization, so the two portals mirror the way different security roles often work. This example of an entry point through a server and lateral movement across end-user domains is a prime example of how these two platforms work together to create our XDR solution. Here you can actually see integration of resources across both Azure and GCP. In Azure Defender, I can see a comprehensive view of all my multi-cloud resources and workloads, and I can quickly determine what is protected and what needs attention. We often protect things like our virtual machines, but leave vulnerabilities and misconfigurations elsewhere, like the exposed port that we now know was the entry point of this attack. Let's check out our security alerts and the automated recommendations provided by Azure Defender. Here I can see all the vulnerabilities and misconfigurations escalated for my attention. Down the bottom here, we can see the VMs and servers that should really be protected with just-in-time access rather than being left open and exposed all the time. Let's take this quick fix action to take care of the legacy process. Using just-in-time, we won't just remove what is surely an important business process, we'll put in place a method of still using it, but in a safe and secure manner. We're going to remediate the issue with the VM port and protect it with just-in-time network access control. This will close off the RDP port to the internet, but also provide a workflow when admins need to access it. We've deeply investigated the lateral movement and all the affected assets from this attack. Some devices and users were automatically remediated, and others we have executed workflows manually. With this combined XDR experience, we were able to quickly view and address the issue across our entire organization in a holistic manner. So wow, a lot that we talked about here, and really exciting stuff. And let's just reiterate that Microsoft 365 Defender and Azure Defender make our XDR offering the most comprehensive, integrated, and powerful solution you could have. Apply Azure Sentinel as well via connectors and APIs, and you can explore and visualize all of the information in your organization. As we said at the beginning, SOCs have to be more vigilant than ever, and efficiency is paramount. Remember, integrated solutions can increase your threat protection capabilities and security posture, reduce your SOC queue and defender workload by up to 80%, letting your team focus on actual triage rather than being swamped by alert fatigue. And to help them even further, more than 3/4 of work items, individual alerts, and remediations can be resolved through automation. We invite you to learn more about Microsoft 365 Defender at aka.ms MS365D. Check your eligibility and try it today at security.microsoft.com. And for Azure Defender, find all the information at aka.ms Azure Defender. Please go and learn more. Check out the web pages for our XDR platforms, read the documentation, go and explore the Unified Converge portal, and familiarize yourself with the intelligence reports in Threat Analytics. Thank you so much for tuning in. And as always, and until next time, stay safe and stay secure.